Hey, what's up guys, it's Dark Arm Duelist, and today doing some Red Eyes Black Dragon test stands. So without further ado guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description for every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So I'm really excited to play this deck for you guys because Red Eyes is one of my favorite decks ever created, with just how powerful it is. Being able to summon out multiple copies of Flare Metal Dragon in a single turn is absolutely crazy because it's my favorite XZ monster ever created. This deck even has a 1-card combo with Black Metal Dragon to be able to get out some insane boss monsters out on your side of the field, which is just so cool to be able to do. And I'm really excited to show you guys what this deck can do. And if you guys would like to check out the deck profile, as always, it is down in the description down below for every test hand video and every combo video. But definitely check that out down in the description down below if you guys want to check out the deck profile. So let's go ahead and shuffle up the deck and see what we can do for our first test hand, because this deck is absolutely crazy with how powerful it is. So let's go ahead and see what we can draw for our very first test hand. So we're going to draw a copy of Black Metal Dragon, a copy of Red Eyes Alternative Black Dragon, Dragon's Ravine, a copy of Blackstone of Legend, and a copy of Black Metal Dragon. So you don't want that many normal summons in your opening hand, but it's totally fine because we have our 1-card combo in our hand, which is amazing. You also don't want to see your field spell in your opening hand, but we can still pull off some really cool plays. So let's go ahead and normal summon out the Black Metal Dragon to our side of the field. And once we normal summon this card out, we're going to go ahead and link it away for a copy of Striker Dragon. Now the cool thing is we're actually going to get 3 searches off of Black Metal Dragon in a single turn, but we also have the effect of our Striker Dragon to be able to search out an additional card. So we're going to go Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2 to be able to get some searches from our deck, because we really want to make sure that that copy of Black Metal Dragon is going to go through, because we're going to search our copy of Darkness Metal off of it and Boot Sector off the Striker Dragon, which is really important to be able to do to get both of those cards out of the deck, because it's just going to help out a lot. So now at this point, we're going to go ahead and banish our copy of Striker Dragon to be able to summon out the copy of Darkness Metal and use the ability of Darkness Metal to bring back our Black Metal Dragon to our side of the field. Now that we have 2 monsters on our side of the field, we're going to go ahead and link both of these away to be able to summon out a copy of Romulus. Now the effect of Black Metal Dragon will go off, and usually the ability of Romulus would go off to search out Dragon's Ravine, but we already have it in our hands, so we don't get the search. But we still get the search off of the Black Metal Dragon because it is not a once per turn to get your searches off that card. So now we're going to go ahead and use the ability of Black Metal Dragon to grab a copy of our Meteor Dragon. Meteor Dragon is very good to be able to grab here because it's a good extender to get an additional monster on our side of the field, and it's basically Foolish Burial as well. So what we're going to do at this point is we're going to go ahead and basically activate our copy of Dragon's Ravine. We're going to use the ability of Dragon's Ravine to be able to send our copy of, say, maybe Blackstone to the graveyard, since we don't need another normal summon, to be able to send a copy of Abzerauder from our deck to the grave. Now we're going to go ahead and add to our hand a copy of Tracer Dragon, Rocket Tracer. Tracer is really good to be able to grab here because of the ability of our Abzerauder, because Abzerauder does have the ability that when it goes to the graveyard, you can add a rocket monster from your deck to your hand, so we're adding our copy of Rocket Tracer to our hand. We're then going to go ahead and activate our copy of Boot Sector Launch, and once we do, we're going to use its ability to special summon out Rocket Tracer. Rocket Tracer's ability can then go off, pop our copy of Boot Sector Launch on our side of the field to be able to special summon another rocket from our deck. So once we do, we're going to actually summon out a copy of Rocket Recharge to our side of the field, and once we do that, we can actually make a Link 5. You might be looking at this and going, well, that's only 4 monsters, but it's not. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and link away the copy of Rocket Tracer, and we're going to summon out a copy of Guard Dragon Pisty. We're then going to go ahead and link both of these away to be able to summon out our Triple Burst Dragon, and once we summon out Triple Burst Dragon, we can use Guard Dragon Pisty to be able to bring back our copy of Black Metal Dragon. Now we can link all of these away to the graveyard, and once we do, we get to summon out our awesome boss monster, our copy of Boral End Dragon. Boral End Dragon is amazing to be able to summon here, but don't forget about your copy of Black Metal Dragon to get your 3rd search off of Black Metal Dragon, which is amazing. So at this point, it kind of depends on what you want to add to your hand, because this searches any Red Eyes card that you want. So you can add cards like Return of the Red Eyes, You can add cards like your Red Eyes Black Dragon, Red Eyes Fusion for follow-up play, Red Eyes Spirit. There's just so many different cards that you can add from your deck to your hand off this card's ability. Even Red Eyes Insight, so you can search out any of your Red Eyes spells while also getting a Foolish Burial, is a really good play to be able to do. But I'm just going to go ahead and add a copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon, because I actually want to get a copy of Flare Metal on my side of the field as well. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use the ability of our alternative black in our hand to be able to tribute our copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon in our hand and summon it out to our side of the field. You also have the ability of your Boral M to be able to target one of your own monsters to summon back a monster to your side of the field. So we're going to go ahead and negate the ability of our alternative black, because this card is a crazy effect that you can basically quick effect, target effect monster on the field, and a rocket monster in your graveyard, negate the effect of that monster on the field, and if you do, special summon that other monster from the grave. So we're going to negate the ability of our copy of alternative black, and we're just going to bring back a copy of our Rocket Tracer, just way down here, just to get us an additional monster on our side of the field. Now we're going to use our copy of our Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, and we're going to send from our deck to the graveyard a copy of our Red Eyes Black Dragon. Now we're going to summon out our copy of Meteor, and once we do, we're just going to go ahead and overlay, because this card actually becomes level 7 when it's summoned out to our side of the field. Because of its ability, you send a level 5 or higher normal monster from your deck to the graveyard, and special summon this card from your hand and increase its level by 1. So this card is actually level 7. We're going to make a copy of Flare Metal, just to give us a little bit of burn damage against the opponent. Now we can go ahead and detach our copy of our Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, and once we do that, we can actually bring back to our side of the field the original Red Eyes Black Dragon, giving us some really cool plays and giving us 2 Red Eyes monsters on our side of the field, along with a Link 5 negate, and every time our opponent breathes, they're going to take 500 points of damage, which is really good. And now we're going to shuffle up the deck, and the cool thing about this particular hand is we still should have a copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon in the deck. We have a Dark Magician in the deck, and we do have a copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon in the deck, so as long as we don't draw into it, we can actually go in for a copy of Dragoon on the follow-up turn. So we're going to pass over to the opponent. They're going to take 500 every time they breathe off of this card. We also have a negate for a monster, which is really good, while also getting a revive. So we're going to let them do whatever they want to do, and when it comes back to our turn, we're going to go ahead and draw into Red Eyes Insight, but that's totally fine, because we also have the copy during our following turn. We have the copy of our Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon during turn 3. We're going to go ahead and banish it, because you can't banish it the same turn it was sent to the graveyard, and we're going to grab Red Eyes Fusion. Now we can activate Red Eyes Fusion to be able to send from our deck to the graveyard a copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon and Dark Magician, and once we do, we can make a copy of Red Eyes Dark Dragoon on our side of the field. Now you can't summon anything else for the rest of the turn, but that's totally fine. You can set if you want to, but you can't normal summon or special summon for the rest of the turn, but that's totally fine, because now we have our copy of Boral in to board wipe. We have our copy of Red Eyes Flare Metal to go in, our copy of Dragoon to go in as a negate and attack, and a copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon. So you get a field like this, which is really cool, because this card is just great for follow-up play, to be able to banish it except the turn it was sent to the grave, to add a copy of Red Eyes Fusion from your deck to your hand. So let's go ahead and do the next test hand and see what we can do for the next one, because that was insane, being able to just use our copy of Black Metal Dragon to be able to go in for all those insane plays. And so you guys can see, don't underestimate how powerful the Black Metal Dragon is, because it's just a really insane card to be able to just climb into some insane plays in this deck. And I love that about this build, that how easy it is to be able to do. The only downside of this deck that you have to keep in mind is that you do get locked into dark with your copy of Rocket Tracer, but we only have two non-dark monsters in the extra deck with our copy of Romulus, Hieratic Seal, and I believe Romulus is the only other non-dark that we have, but we summon this before we summon out the Tracer, and this is just kind of, if we don't have anything, you can make that card. So you do have to keep that in mind as you're playing the deck. So let's go ahead and shuffle up the deck again, and if you guys would like to check out the deck profile, again, as always, it is down in the description down below if you guys would like to check that out. But let's go ahead and shuffle it up and see what we can do for our next test hand, because this deck is crazy powerful, how easy it is to be able to basically just go in for so many cool plays and just basically swarm the board. Like, being able to summon out multiple Flare Metals is just really cool, and I love that about this deck, how easy it is to be able to get that card out on your side of the field. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for our next test hand. So we're going to draw into a Red Eyes Insight, Quick Launch, our copy of Red Eyes Darkness Metal, our copy of the Blackstone of Legend, and Return of the Dragon Lords. Return of the Dragon Lords is really good in here, especially since we have Red Eyes Insight. We can get 2 Red Eyes out on our side of the field. So this is actually really good. We have a way to get a Red Eyes back out of the grave. We have a way to get to Red Eyes Fusion and get a Red Eyes in the grave so you can bring it back. You have a normal summon in the hand to be able to get another Red Eyes out on your side of the field, and you have an extender in the hand so you can use your Darkness Metal if you want to. So this isn't too bad. This is actually pretty good to be able to focus on Flare Metals a little bit more. So what we're going to do is activate our copy of Red Eyes Insight first to be able to send from our deck to the graveyard a copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon. Now once we send our copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon to the grave, we're going to add Red Eyes Fusion from our deck to our hand, and once we do, you kind of have a choice here of what you want to do. If you want to go in for your copy of your Dragoon, you can just activate this card, send a copy of Dark Magician and Red Eyes to the grave, and just summon it out to your side of the field if you want to, or you can kind of push a little bit further if you want to do that. We can go ahead and activate the copy of Return of the Dragon Lords, bringing back our copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon, then normal summon out the Blackstone of Legend, tribute it off on our side of the field, and summon from our deck another copy of the original Red Eyes Black Dragon. So that's really good to be able to get both of them out on our side of the field so we can make a copy of Flare Metal, but we're not done yet. We can actually go a little bit further with this particular hand. We're going to go ahead and activate our copy of Quick Launch, and once we activate Quick Launch, we can actually bring out a copy of our, where is it? Our copy of, I have a really spicy tech in here for you guys that you can actually bring out. Our copy of Exploder Rocket Dragon, which is actually a level 7 that you can use in this deck to be able to get it out on your side of the field, which is just really helpful to be able to do. So now what we're going to do is just going to go ahead and overlay both of these, and you can just make a copy of Flare Metal if you want to. You can climb if you want to for other plays. You do have the copy of Flare Metal on your side of the field. It's a not great, crazy board, but it's still pretty good to be able to do, just to get an additional monster on your side of the field. You obviously could start link climbing if you want to into other plays, but we don't really have a low level to be able to go in for Striker outside of the copy of the Blackstone of Legend. I'd rather end on this instead. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for the next one. Sometimes you get crazy hands, sometimes you get like not so crazy hands, and that wasn't a crazy hand, but that's okay. It's Red Eyes. It's fun to play, which is really cool about this deck. So let's go ahead and shuffle it up and see what we can do for our third test hand and see if we can do something insane for this next one. We're going to go ahead and give it a really good shuffle. And guys, remember, it is very important to pile shuffle the deck. That is dad rule number 1, which is why I pile shuffled the deck at the very beginning of the video, just to make sure that you don't brick. You really don't want to brick, especially with Red Eyes, because it's such a fun deck and it's such an important deck to be able to not brick with. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for our next test hand. So we're going to go ahead and draw into a copy of Red Eyes Fusion. It really wants to summon Dragoon, a copy of Alternative Black, our copy of Black Metal Dragon. We have full combo. We have our copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon and another Black Metal Dragon. We really want to use Black Metal Dragon, apparently. That's insane that we've drawn 2 twice. But now we're going to go ahead and just go in for some really good plays. We do have an extender right here. We do have these cards in our hand. So let's kind of do the same thing that we did before. Let's go ahead and normal summon out Black Metal Dragon. And we're going to go ahead and summon out Striker Dragon, just kind of like we did before. Use both of them. Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2. This is more important, so make sure that you chain block it to make sure that that ability is going to go off. So we can grab from our deck to our hand our copy of Darkness Metal. That's something that I'm going to do during test hands, guys, is just lay the cards like that. I do that as I'm playing my Black Wings, just to show which card is searching which. Even though we don't have the like chain link counter on them, it's totally fine, so you just know what's getting searched. We're then going to go ahead and use this to be able to banish, use the ability to bring this card back, link both of these away, and summon out a copy of Romulus, using the ability in the graveyard of our Black Metal Dragon, which is very important to be able to grab an additional card from the deck. And since we don't have our copy of Meteor, we're going to grab Meteor right here. And we're going to grab a copy of Dragon Ravine as well. Make sure that you don't forget to grab your copy of Dragon Ravine. It's very important to be able to get your copy of Dragon Ravine. It's almost more important to grab Dragon Ravine here than it is to grab the copy of Meteor. So you can do Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, because it's really important to be able to get that copy of Dragon Ravine to your hand immediately, just to make sure that you get that card so you can send Abs Router and go from there. So we're going to go ahead and activate our copy of our Dragon Ravine, sending to the graveyard our copy of our Black Metal Dragon to be able to use its ability to be able to send Abs Router from our deck to the grave, which we're going to add Rocket Tracer. So I'm just going to put that card on the bottom so we can go ahead and grab it once we send it to the grave. So we're going to send this to the graveyard. This is going to go off, add a copy of Rocket Tracer, and then we're going to overlay or activate on top of our copy of Boot Sector Launch on top of Dragon Ravine. We're going to use the ability of our Boot Sector Launch to special summon Rocket Tracer, use Rocket Tracer, pop Boot Sector Launch with its ability. We are now locked into Dark because of this card, and we're going to special summon out our copy of our Rocket Recharge. Rocket Recharger is really good, which is way on the top. That always happens. That always happened to you guys. The card that you're looking for is always on the top of the deck. Like, it always happens to me when I'm searching something. So now we're going to go ahead and do kind of the same play that we did before. Link this away, make Guard Dragon Pisty, link these two away, make our copy of our Triple Burst, use the ability of Guard Dragon Pisty, and put back on our side of the field a copy of Black Metal Dragon. For the third time, we're going to get another search. And as you guys can see, it's consistent to do this combo, how easy it is to be able to just pull this off, to summon out your copy of Borland, and I love that it's so easy in this deck to pull off, and it's really cool. Now the ability of our Black Metal is going to go off again because we did link it away for a third time, and we're going to grab this time another Red Eyes card, which is really good to be able to just instantly grab another Red Eyes card from our deck to your hand. You can grab Red Eyes Insight if you want to send one to the graveyard. Since we do have two in the deck, we're about to have one in the deck with our copy of our Meteor, but it doesn't really matter what you grab here because we're just going to tribute this for this, send one to grave, put them both on the field, and then use something. I really wish Red Eyes had like a revival spell. It would help out a lot. Usually I'd grab Red Eyes Fusion here, but we already have it. So it kind of depends on what you want to grab here. You can grab something like Return of the Red Eyes, since we are going to have a Red Eyes monster on our side of the field, to be able to just bring back Red Eyes constantly, which is really nice so we can make multiple Flare Metals. But now at this point, we're going to go ahead and summon this out to our side of the field by sending a copy of our original Red Eyes from our deck to the grave. Now that we have a Red Eyes in the grave, we can use the ability of Alternative to be able to summon it out to our side of the field, overlay both of these on our side of the field, or you can use the ability of your Rocket Borland, negate this, do not negate this. We're going to go ahead and negate the ability of Alternative, just kind of like we did before, bring back our copy of Tracer to our side of the field, and once we do, now we're going to overlay both of these, make a copy of Flare Metal, detach here, bring back a copy of the original Red Eyes Black Dragon, set our copy of Return of the Red Eyes, and pass over to the opponent. Now, once we pass over to the opponent, you do have the ability to go in for other stuff if you want to. Like, you could go in for a copy of SP Little Knight if you want to go in for SP Little Knight. If you do summon out the copy of the IP first, and then you can link climb during your opponent's turn because you can negate something here, then go in for your copy of IP. So you can do something like this as well, where you link these two away and then summon out IP to be able to go a little bit further during the opponent's turn, use the ability of our Rocket or our Borland, bring this back to our side of the field, and then use these two to go in for SP Little Knight. Or if you don't have SP Little Knight, you can go in for Unicorn instead, which is an option for you guys if you want to. You can do something like this. It's totally up to you which one of these you want to go into. I like going in for SP Little Knight because I have one, but if you don't, you can go in for Unicorn to spin something. That is an option. It kind of just depends on what you have. If you don't have a copy of SP, just make Unicorn. It's totally fine. So we can just do that if you want to, or you can just leave these out on the field like this. It's, again, totally up to you which ones you want to go for. But now we're going to go ahead and go back over to us, and we're going to draw for turn. We're going to give the deck a quick shuffle and then see what we can draw into. Hopefully we can make multiple Flare Metals this turn. So we're going to go ahead and draw into a White Dragon. White Dragon's pretty good because this is going to help us go in for some really good plays. We still have some insane cards in our extract, so we can use the ability of our White Dragon to summon itself out to our side of the field by banishing one of our Black Metals that we really don't need in the graveyard. Use our copy of our Borland to be able to target this, bring out another monster to our side of the field. And the cool thing is we have some insane plays in the extract that we can step into, being able to use these two on our side of the field to step into Hieratic Seal, which is really nice to be able to step into that copy of Hieratic Seal if you want to, or you can just make SP.
You can make SP, you can make Hieratic Seal. It's totally up to you, whatever you want to make here. We're going to make SP, and then what we're going to do from here is we're going to use the ability of our Flare Metal, use its effect to be able to detach. I believe we have another Red Eyes in the grave. We do. Bring it back to our side of the field, and then we can make another copy of our Flare Metal on our side of the field, which is really good to be able to make a second copy of Flare Metal on our side of the field. Usually 2 is enough to be able to just deal with the opponent, because now they're taking 1,000 for everything they do. This is going to banish something to be able to interact. This is 35. They can attack everything. 28 and 28. So you have these really cool plays. You also have Return of the Red Eyes. They can bring back something from the grave, because if you control a Red Eyes monster, except a copy of Red Eyes Chick, you can target a normal monster in the graveyard and bring it back. We unfortunately don't have any more normal monsters in the graveyard, but that's fine, because now we have this on the field and we can just basically go in, switch this to attack and swing, and you got game, which is really cool. So let's go ahead and do one more test stand and see what we can do for one more test stand and see if we can pull off something crazy, because that was pretty good, being able to just summon out all those cards. Again, guys, you don't have to play SP Little Knight. You don't have to. It's a good card. Do not get me wrong. It is a good card. But you can just play Nightmare Unicorn instead. It's a good alternative. We did it for a long time before we had SP Little Knight, and it's still a good card to this day to be able to just use in this deck still. And it is a good option for a lot of decks to be able to just make your copy of SP Little Knight instead. So, or not SP Little Knight, Nightmare Unicorn instead, and play something like a Nightmare Phoenix if you want to. So let's go ahead and see what we can do for our last test hand. See if we can do something really insane for our last one. So we're going to go ahead and draw. And we're going to draw into a copy of the Black Stone of Legend, Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon, another Black Meteor Dragon, Boot Sector Launch, and a copy of Exploder Rocket Dragon. So this is okay. We can actually make a couple of really cool plays with this hand. You might be looking at this and going, well, I can't summon these, but you can. With Boot Sector Launch, you can bring out your copy of Exploder Rocket Dragon, which is really cool. You do have 2 copies of Red Eyes Black Meteors, which is a little bit unfortunate because it is a once per turn, but you do have the Black Stone of Legend, which is okay to be able to summon out to your side of the field. So we're just going to normal summon this, tribute it, summon out the original Red Eyes Black Dragon, use the ability of Black Meteor to be able to send to our graveyard a copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon, which is going to get us an additional monster in the graveyard, summon this card out, overlay both of these, make a copy of our Red Eyes Flare Metal. Once we make Flare Metal, we're just going to detach specifically our copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon. I like detaching Red Eyes instead. We're going to detach it to the graveyard to bring it back to our side of the field. Activate Boot Sector Launch. Once we do, we can summon out our copy of Exploder Rocket Dragon, overlay both of these. Again, make our second copy of our Flare Metal, detach a copy of Red Eyes, and then bring out another Red Eyes to our side of the field. And this is where I will show you guys something neat. If you didn't have this in your hand, and you had like an additional extender like this, or an additional extender like this, which I'm playing this at 3 and this at 2 in the deck, or you even had something like, I don't know, any kind of extender in the deck, like Abzerrouter that's a level 7, you could have done it when this was on the field. You could have summoned this to your side of the field, which is like an additional extender. Like, that's like 6 different ways that you can still do it. You can summon out, like if you change this out, you could summon out one of these or bring this back to your side of the field and make 3 Flare Metals. Like, we're that close to making 3 Flare Metals if you just had 1 level 7 extender in the deck to be able to bring out any other level 7 on the field. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be this to bring back this Red Eyes. It could be an alternative, tribute this, summon it out to your side of the field, make a 3rd Red Eyes, bring back this Red Eyes from the grave, and you have a Red Eyes and 3 Flare Metals, and you just look at your opponent. Like, what are you going to do now? So it's a little unfortunate that we didn't get the last one, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and draw for the next turn, because you still can do it next turn, which is really nice regardless. So let's go ahead and draw for our next turn, because we're going to have this field. Our opponent's going to take 1,000 for everything they do, so they're not going to do much. And we're going to go ahead and draw. We're drawing Red Eyes Insight, but that's totally fine, because we have the copy of Meteor. We're going to go ahead and use the effect of Meteor to send our last copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon to the grave, special summon this out, overlay both of them, make our copy of Flare Metal, detach, bring back, have our copy of Flare Metal. That's what I'm talking about. If you had an additional extender, you could do all this, which is crazy. Have the 2 copies of Red Eyes in the grave to be able to bring back stuff. Also be able to shuffle 1 back, because you can add your copy of Blackstone during the following turn. You can actually add your copy of Blackstone by just shuffling up the deck. We also have Red Eyes Insight to be able to send an additional Red Eyes to the grave, because it just lets us send any Red Eyes card we want from our deck to the graveyard. So we're going to send a copy of our, let's see, a copy of Black Meteor, Once we send that copy of Black Meteor, we'll also get to add Red Eyes Fusion for the next turn. And then once we do that, you can also detach a material like a copy of our Exploder Rocket. And then once you do that, you can bring back your copy of Red Eyes Black Dragon from the grave. And now we can make my favorite XZ besides Red Eyes Black Metal Dragon, or Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. You can make Dark Armed the Dragon of Annihilation, which is really insane because you get all this during the next turn. It's really easy to do. Like, it's really easy to be able to pull off 3 Flare Metals. It's just about drawing the right cards in the deck, which is really easy to be able to just draw a bunch of extenders in this particular build. Like, you have Quick Launch, you have Alternative Black, you have Meteor Black, you have all these different extenders, you have Blackstone to get us you additional level 7s. Like, that's how you kind of have to look at the hand, because something like this, like a hand like this, will instantly get you 3 Flare Metals. This will instantly get you 3 Flare Metals. As long as you have like 4 extenders in the hand, it's very easy to pull off, which is really cool. So I think that's going to do for this one, guys. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Red Eyes before, you should definitely give this deck a try. I'm glad I got to show you guys both play styles of Red Eyes, going in for the XZ plays and the XZ side, while also going in for the Link side, just summoning out a bunch of Link monsters to your side of the field, like a Borderland, and just climbing, which is just really cool. And I love that about this deck because it's so easy to be able to do. Like, it's just so easy to Link climb in this deck, and it's really, really fun. So that's gonna do for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell near so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.